Lisa Penfield and Tess, my student, and we are here in the Culebra Bay, and this is the second half of Tess's first lesson where she's going to be learning how to sail. She already knows how to turn the board around. You have to learn turning before you learn sailing, so you can sail out, turn around, and come back. So I throw the rig on the downwind side of the board. The rig is the mast, the sail, the boom, and the universal joint right there. That's the universal joint. So I'm explaining to Tess that when you climb up on the board and you go to pull the sail out of the water, you want to pull the sail out of the water with the mast at right angles to the board, so that the mast will come up at right angles to the board. That will keep you balanced. So you raise the sail out of the water and you hold the mast under the boom in the starting position. You put your back foot back, you put your front foot to the side, you bring the mast up past your shoulder, put your back hand, your front hand, and then you pull with your back hand to get moving. So in this class she's going to learn to sail out into the bay, turn around, and sail back to where she came from. So we're probably going to review here a few of the turns, which are the downwind turn. The downwind turns is called the jibe. And I usually teach the downwind turn first. Okay, there you see she fell in. That's because she had her weight on her heels and her legs were straight. You have to bend your knees all the time. So that's very important. So the downwind turn is where you lean the sail to the front of the board, and the front of the board passes through downwind and makes a 180-degree turn to facing out into the bay. So she's going to go over the downwind turn here, walks behind the mast, and as you can see, her feet are very far forward. That is not ideal. So she's demonstrating to you in this video some of the pitfalls of windsurfing, and one of them is walking too far forward on the board when you're doing the jibe. You really do want to walk more to the back of the board. So here she is in the starting position again. The starting position is what we went over in the first half of the lesson. That's with the sail at right angles to the board, and you're holding onto the mast underneath the boom and absorbing the waves in your knees. So she's doing another downwind turn. As you can see, her feet are not as far forward as they were last time. That was a better turn. That was a better downwind turn. So she's getting pretty good at those downwind turns. Here she does another one, and the board spins right around. So we practiced downwind turns again and went pretty far downwind. Then I sailed back upwind, and she walked in the shallow water back upwind. And when we got upwind, we decided to do some more turns and to practice sailing. So sailing is you put the back hand on the boom, the front hand on the boom, and then you pull with the back hand. So she was able to take right off, as you could see there. Here I'm spinning the board around because you want the sail on the downwind side of the board when you pull it up. Beach starting can be something we'll learn in the next lesson. Okay, she's in the starting position, back hand on the boom, front hand on the boom, and then she pulls with the back hand. If the sail is heavy, you're supposed to let go with the back hand instead of dropping the sail. So we practice that drill a lot, and it's not instinctive to let go with the back hand. When the sail gets heavy, you just want to drop it, but you don't have to drop it. What you can do is just let go with the back hand, and that way it takes the pressure off of your body, and you don't drop the sail. So she's pulling the sail up again, leaning back, stretching out the uphaul line, keeping the mast at right angles to the board. It's very important to keep the mast at right angles. So she's going to get in the starting position, And then backhand on the boom, front hand on the boom, up, too heavy, so she dropped it again. So here's where I'm explaining to her that the front hand, which is going to be the left hand when you're sailing into shore, or the right hand when you're sailing out to the bay, the front hand keeps the mast up, and the back hand powers the sail. So if the sail gets heavy, just let go with only the back hand. There's no need to drop the whole rig. So we practiced that a lot because it was pretty windy on this day. It was blowing. There was quite a few whitecaps out in the bay. Nice downwind turn. She gets into the starting position. Back hand on the boom, front hand on the boom. Pull with the back hand. Oh, there you go again. See, she dropped the sail. Finally, we got to the point where she built up her reaction time so that if the sail got heavy, she just let go with the back hand. She got the hang of it. In this picture, in this video clip, she sailed straight into the wind. The board really wants to go into the wind, so in order to counter that, you have to lean the mast to the bow a little bit once you get going. Because the windsurfer really wants to go straight up into the eye of the wind, and then you fall off if that happens. Because you're pointing straight into the eye of the wind. And unless you know how to tack, it's just going to wipe out. So backhand, front hand, and see, there she learned. She learned to release the backhand a little bit. So there she is, sailing off. This is the second half of the first lesson, and she's out there. It's definitely blowing. I don't know. I would say out in the bay, probably it's 15 knots. Right here, it's probably 13. Doesn't look like it in this video, but it was very windy. I usually don't teach in this much wind. So there she goes in the downwind turn again. Now, since it was extremely windy for a lesson, I didn't teach her to tack in the first lesson. I just taught her to jibe. In the second lesson, I would teach her tacking. So here she goes sailing out. She's really getting a good run this time. There she goes. It's kind of far away, but you guys can see. And here she's doing the downwind turn, right? Sweeping the mast and the sail over the bow, walking behind the mast, turning the board completely around until she's in the starting position going the other way. And then we're looking down in the water now. It's quite clear in the bay. We have beautiful sandy beaches in Culebra, but I teach in the bay where it's like a lake. See, she learned how to let go with her back hand there when it was too windy. And she really got the hang of it by the end of the lesson. Tess did great. So here we're doing a little recap and planning the next time she can get out on the water. I teach in Spanish too. My next lesson's going to be completely in Spanish. That was the second half of the first lesson, guys, on Culebra Island, Puerto Rico, in the bay. Thank you, Tess, for being my student. You are amazing. Live your life and learn to windsurf. Whee!